Hey y'all, this is Marley K. Hope y'all are well. Got a subject that I want to talk about, and it stems from a video that I saw of from this realtor. I don't know if you've seen it, but it was in Maui, and he basically was talking about, or he did a video of this guy who he was interviewing, and the man was basically saying how there were some people allegedly, and I have to use my words wisely, but there were some people in charge who were responsible for directing traffic, and it is unclear whether or not people were being held in place intentionally. Let's say that. And he talked about, for whatever reason, he didn't have a car. He had gone somewhere to eat. And so he just started noticing smoke. The power went out. He was eating someplace, and then restaurant had a generator. So after he ate his food, he noticed that people were trying to leave the area where the fire was. And the traffic was at a standstill, and no one knew why. Well, he did not have a car, but he could see the fire getting close to where the people were. So he got out of his car and walked. And he said he wasn't sure if people were going to be able to get out because, there was somebody controlling the traffic at the head of the line. But he saw people on bikes and people on foot, very few people walking, but there were lines and lines of cars, people waiting in cars to be allowed to drive out and drive away from danger. So he says when he got to the top of the, clog up, there was an official there, and he said, what's going on? Why are these cars stopped? And he said he was obeying orders. This was the person in charge noted that they were following orders, obeying orders. And so the man said, well, the fire is back there. The fire is coming this way. The fire is going to, you know, um, move forward. And these people, if they don't move, they're going to be consumed by it. And the guy was just kind of like he wasn't really worried about what the man was talking about. He was just obeying orders. And so the guy walked through, because he was free to leave. And he doesn't know what happened to the rest of those people. But he was saying that while he was walking past them, there were really nice people who thought sitting in a car was better than walking, leaving the car on the side of the road or something, and they offered him a ride, and he was like, he thought about the kindness, but he said he also saw the fire, so he was like, I ain't sitting here waiting on fire to come get me. I'm just going to walk. And so he was able to get out, but now we're learning there are potentially thousands of people who were burned to death because they could not get out. And so that whole scenario was a really good mental exercise for me because you like to think that because we are awakened and we can see a lot of things that we are smart enough, intelligent enough to be able to navigate those things. But what happens when you have one person who is obeying orders that can cause a multitude of people to die allegedly, intentionally, allegedly? Notice how I say allegedly. Y'all know I'm petty, right? But anyway, um, I just been thinking about that. How many, and I've always thought about this. I talked about this um, a little bit with Watchman Nehemiah and a couple of other people, just about how people in power, people in authority, how long will they obey orders and how far will they go to do stuff to their own people for the sake of working for the system? I'm just going to say system. I won't say any particular entity or part of the system for not wanting to be flagged or say I'm spouting anti some type of speech or disinformation. Excuse me, y'all. It's time for people to be traveling to and fro on this busy road, so you may hear loud traffic. I apologize in advance. Anywho, um, just thinking out loud, if you are a person in a position of authority who could potentially hold the keys to life and death in your hands, knowing what you know now, and having experienced what we experienced over the last 3 years, are you going to be one of those people who go along with the orders and cause, thousands, if not millions of people to be led off to their demise? Or are you going to be one of those people who disobey orders or quit because you don't want to participate in being a part of end time prophecy or being a part of something similar to what happened in the H cost in Germany? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Where and it's not just there, it's any place. Look at some of these raccoon governments on the continent of Africa. Like, those people sell us out at the drop of a dime, get the bag, and people still walking around poor. People have no hope. People are dying from, not having basic necessities, and folks are just fine with that, long as they're comfortable. But is that short-term pay going to be worth the long-term punishment, or the punishment that you will receive for being obedient to this satanic system? I just wonder. I know people, I have people in my family, who work in different parts of government. I know people who have retired from government, worked in certain sectors that they could be recalled at any time, and they have to make a decision. Are you going to go do what they told you to do? Or are you going to just disobey orders and just be like, I'll take the punishment? I mean, I can't tell people what to do. I know I know what I ain't doing. Ain't but two things they can do to you. They can kill you or they can put you in jail. Whatever they do, it ain't going to last longer than eternal damnation. That's forever. Even if you have to stay in jail for 20, 30, 40 years, although I don't think the earth is going to be around that long. Or if you get marched off to the gallows and get your head yeeted and unalived, it's over. You say your prayer, make peace with the Most High. You did what you were supposed to do. Your reward is on the other side. And that's if you believe in that. I know some people are like, hey, I don't believe in that. I'm gonna be trying to fight to the end. Okay. But I'm speaking to people who believe in what I believe. How can you obey those orders when you know those orders could come with blood on your hands, with people starving, with people being trapped? What are you going to do when you have to make a decision about whether or not you're going to obey an order that could cause people to lose their lives. Or maybe you don't even know, what it is that they're asking you to do or the reason why, but you're just doing it anyway because it's your job and that's what you have to do. What are you going to do when you have to make the decision? And the decision is possibly blood on your hands. Is your spiritual discernment strong enough or good enough? Do you have a connection with the Most High that will immediately let you know that the um, request is not good? Or will you be able to understand and pick up the vibrations from the person giving the orders that it's not good, that you shouldn't do it? Will you hear from the Most High if He tells you, hey, you got to leave? And whatever price you have to pay for leaving, then you have to take that cost. Are you willing to do that? Because there are going to be people who are going to obey those orders and have us all jammed up. They're going to do us something dirty. Are we ready for that? I don't necessarily think so. And I don't think we think about it enough. I mean, we all are making plans for preparing to be without some things and primitive living and all the stuff that we've been talking about. But we rarely talk about orders. What happens when this system tells you you got to do something because you've been getting paid to do it? They've been training you for this time and you didn't even know. And so now it is time for you to earn all that money that they've been paying you for this moment. Are you going to go ahead and do what they told you to do and think nobody's going to know anything about it? Are you going to stare in the faces of people and tell them a bald faced lie and say, I'm just following orders, knowing good and darn well you are leading people to the slaughter? Are you going to just obey orders and go into these churches and offer people the baps, knowing what they did to us over the last 3 years? Will you be one of those people? Are you going to be an employer who adheres to these laws that they pass, forcing people to get stuff because you need a bag, because you got payroll to make, because you got bills to pay, because you got a contract that you don't want to get out of, or it's very lucrative? Like, what types of sacrifices are you going to make in order to maintain your livelihood? What are you going to do if you are called on to obey an order that is not for our good, it's for evil? I don't know. I know what, all I can tell you is I know what I'm not going to do. And I'm prepared to suffer the hardship because of it. But a lot of people are not. And I know a lot of people think that they're going to get away with it and nobody will ever know. But Yah knows. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. It doesn't matter if I know or don't know. But I know there are going to be a lot of people who just obey orders. Are we prepared to pick and choose what we're going to do and what we're not going to do? Because when everything falls apart, all you got is you and your spiritual discernment. So if you're not working on building that up now, you're going to be in a world of trouble when it comes time for you to know what to do, where to go, who to talk to, who not to talk to, what to ride on, what road to go on, um, whether to leave a city, to come back to a city, where just everything. whether to accept something, whether not to accept something, whether to trust information, whether to not trust information. And unfortunately, because our people, Black people, are so unknowledgeable about all the things that are coming, it's going to be very hard to trust Black people. I'm going to just be honest with you. It's going to be hard to trust anybody, but I'm going to have a very difficult time listening to Black people tell me anything because they don't know nothing. Not about the end times, not about what's getting ready to happen to us. And I don't know, what do you do about that? I can't I can't follow no man who ain't got no spiritual discernment about this hour. If he doesn't know about the awakening, he doesn't know about, all these different things that we talk about on these different channels on YouTube. The people that I follow, people you follow, doesn't know about, who we are, what time it is. I'm gonna have a difficult time trusting him. Now, I might have to get out of myself because I know Yah can use anybody at any time he wants. He could use a turtle, he could use a rock, he could use a tree, he could use whatever. But I also have to have spiritual discernment to know and to be able to hear that person is speaking for the Most High. That person is an angel. That person is being used right now. So it's going to be very important that we work on our spiritual discernment. It's going to be very important that we work on getting rid of our blocks and not being so hung up on what type of credentials people have, what people look like, how people talk, how people act, because you can learn from anybody and anybody can help you. I've learned that over the years, all my life. But one of the things that is just going to be challenging is dealing with so many people who know so little about what's happening. Um, and those people will be in positions of authority, unfortunately. A lot of times they will be. So, what are we going to do? That's something that we need to think about. And we need to think about it now before that time comes. Because once it's here, it's too late. We have to figure this out now. So, I don't want to put that link in my bio, but there's a story. I think JWTV posted it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. I know I saw it on his channel, but I also just had that story pop up in my news feed, and I watched the video, and I was like, wow. And if you know all the stuff that's going on, all the stuff that has come out about Maui being the first smart island on Earth, um, just a lot of stuff happening, y'all. But the point is, plenty of people could have allegedly lost their lives because there was allegedly someone who allegedly took it upon themselves to um, obey orders. I guess that's the best way to say it. They obeyed orders. If you work in a position of authority where you are going to have that type of power, you need to pray and ask for discernment and ask what to do before that choice comes, because you will have blood on your hands if you don't already have blood on your hands. But you will have blood on your hands. Is that what you want when you have to stand before the Most High and give an account for your actions? I do not. So I know we can be forgiven for a multitude of sins, but it does not mean that you're not going to have to pay a price for those crimes, for that blood that you shed. or you helped this satanic system shed. So think about that. Obeying lawful orders, obeying orders. What does that mean to you? I would love to get your feedback in the comment section because I think about this a lot. And I think about, every time I see police, what are they going to do? I live in a little town. We don't have that many police. We got more sheriff than police, but are they going to be the type of people who be like, oh, I'm abandoning my stuff, or are they going to be like renegades and be like extra aggressive and policing us like we are slaves on a slave patrol? So just let me know what happens when you go into detail and you think about whether or not you'd obey lawful orders if you're in a position of authority, or if somebody, you were trying to escape something and somebody, you're asking questions and the person just said you're obeying orders and they're kind of lackadaisical about it. Like, what are you going to say to that person? Will you just go and preserve yourself? Will you turn around and be like, hey, y'all better get out of these cars and walk? What are you going to do? Just some food for thought. But I'm interested in your comments because this is something that, we're all going to have to contend with as they corral us around and we're all surrounded. We need to be thinking about these types of things. And, you could be trying to escape and you could be prevented from escaping. You could be trying to get help and the help might be not helping. You could be sick and the person that's in a position to heal you might be become Dr. Yeated. You never know. So share your thoughts in the comment section. I would be interested in hearing them. Please like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Also consider subscribing to my Rumble and Odyssey channels. The links are in the description in the event that I am booted off of this platform. Hit that bell notification so that every time I upload new content, you will be notified. Also consider following me on social media. I'm on Instagram and Facebook, although I do not post there regularly because one social media platform, which is YouTube, is enough for me. Just trying to read and keep up with all the stuff that's going on. I don't have time to do that. I'm not a social media influencer. I don't get paid to do this. I have real work to do. So just make sure that you follow me on social media. In the event that I am booted off of this platform, I will let you know where I will be. Lastly, continue to pray, continue to prep and seek the Most High. Ask forgiveness for sins of commission and sins of omission. Pray for the awakening so that more of our people will wake up and be able to think freely and critically. Pray for the diaspora because brothers and sisters are fighting all over trying to decolonize their nations and their people. And we're all in for a struggle. So just make sure that you are keeping us all lifted up in prayer because we're going to need it. And lastly, think about what you're going to do if you get orders. Are you going to obey them or are you going to disobey them? Only time will tell. All right, y'all, this is Marley K, and I'm out.